Hello everybody, Raven Knight here, and welcome to another monthly update video. It's December, guys. It's that time of the month where everyone gets ready for Christmas. Money is spent to get gifts, traveling is done to meet up with family and friends, the radio starts playing nothing but Christmas music nonstop. It's a really wonderful time of year, and it is easily my favorite time of year. But it's also the time of year with a little bit of baggage for me personally, and I promise I'm not going to make this a downer video. Absolutely not. There's a lot of good things to talk about, a lot of stuff to look forward to, and a lot of clarification I want to make. And we're going to talk about all of that in just a minute. This is going to be a very jam-packed video, but before we get to it, let's do the typical shill, guys. You know what it's all about. So for those who don't know, I'm going through a bit of a rough patch right now financially. The whole family is really. And if you guys would be willing to help me out and support me, that would be much appreciated. And there are lots of ways you can do it. I have a Patreon page where you can go and become a patron, and you can donate up to $1 a month. Even that, as small as it sounds, would be tremendously helpful in the grand scheme of things. I have a Teespring store where you can go and purchase some merchandise. And right now we have a special promo deal on Claire Claus merchandise, where you can see this little cute Claire, which is the female version of me, wearing a Santa Claus outfit. That's only limited time for this December, and it will go away after the end of the month and won't come back until next holiday. So please get that while you can, and if you use the promo code HOLLY, HOLLY, at checkout, you will get 10% off of your purchase. So please consider going to do that. Also, if you don't want to donate in that way, getting subscribers always helps. If you would like to help by getting your friends and family to subscribe and to just join in on the big Raven community, that would be very helpful. Again, we didn't reach our goal, so this month's goal, we're going to try to aim for 27.2 thousand subscribers for this month. We've been kind of slow on the subscriber uptake, so I'm lowering the bar just a little bit, but I hope we can make it. And if you just like the video, leave comments, donate in chat, anything like that would be much appreciated, because it allows me to continue doing what I love and getting to show you guys the videos that y'all love. So thank you guys so much for your time and for hearing me out. And before we get into the rest of the updates, there are a couple people I want to give a shout out to. I especially want to shout out Hannah and Jay, my two artist friends. Hannah and I have been friends for a very, very long time. Very long time. In fact, I think I met her before I even started college. She's a fantastic artist. We've been going through a lot of highs and lows together. She draws some amazing pictures. Some of them should be scrolling across the screen now. She's drawn some great stuff for the channel and for the Teespring store. She usually draws me as a girl named Claire, which at first was kind of a joke, but now it's just become something that we enjoy, something that we laugh and have fun with. So if you like that kind of stuff, talk to Hannah about it. She enjoys drawing it, and I enjoy seeing it. It's a lot of fun. Definitely go and support her. I don't know if she's doing commissions right now, but I know she has an Instagram page where you can go and you can talk to her or ask her about her commissions, and she can give you the details there. And just please consider supporting her. She's such a good friend and such a great artist. She deserves it. And then Jay, what can't I say about Jay? A spiritual accountability partner and a very close friend. We've known each other for a while now. He is a phenomenal artist, but an even better Christian and friend. His art is incredibly good. He's the one who drew the Raven Lord logo and avatar that you guys have seen so often. He's drawn some awesome art for the channel and awesome art for stories that I work on with him. You should be seeing some of his art flowing across the screen right now. Definitely give this guy some love. I know he does commissions year round. Go talk to him at his Instagram page, which I will be linking in the description. He's just an awesome friend and awesome artist that you should definitely go and look into. He's drawn some really cool comics. Definitely, both he and Hannah are people that I greatly value their friendship. You wouldn't go wrong talking to them. Definitely consider going and supporting them because of the stuff they do for this channel. It would not be right if I didn't give them a shout out in every update video I do. Okay, thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Jay. You both are amazing, and I'm so blessed to know you. All right, so with all that out of the way, it's time to get into it, right? Let's do it. So, December. Like I said, guys, Christmas is on its way, and with Christmas comes a wonderful time of year, but also a tricky time of year for me, because it's not just Christmas this month. It is my 30th birthday. On the 29th of December, I will be turning 30. Now, a lot of people, when they reach 30, get kind of bummed out, and I won't deny there's a little bit of that. I can tell. It's kind of like, man, 3 decades, 30 years of life, and what all do I have to show for it? But I'm also kind of happy, too, because 30 isn't a bad year either. I've still got a lot of stuff to accomplish, and I feel like I've done some really good stuff in the years that I've been alive, and I feel like I've brought a lot of good things to a lot of good people. I hope that I can continue to do more. The downer about my birthday, though, is because it's so close to Christmas, I don't really get to celebrate it all that often, at least not in the ways I'd like to. I don't get to have big parties with friends and family because they're usually either gone for Christmas or finances are kind of tight, so it's hard to do like gifts or parties or things like that. So it can be a little bit of a bummer when that rolls around, but it's not a big deal, and I'm always happy when my birthday rolls around, so that's not a big deal. But that is something that's coming up, and I do need to keep that in mind, because when my birthday comes along, I'm going to be trying to relax that day. So don't expect much to happen around that time period or around the Christmas time period, because for Christmas, I will definitely be with family, and so I won't be working on anything. But back to the Christmas topic. Here's the deal. Because my financial situation is so tight, me and my family worked out an agreement. Instead of me buying a bunch of gifts, which would be tough on the coffers, and I can't afford to be any more tough on them than I am, they said, why don't you write stories for everybody? As in, write a story for my brother, write a story for mom and dad, and of course my friends asked for stories, so I got to write a story for Hannah, write a story for my friend Aaron, write a story for Jay. I got at least 5 stories that I'm going to be writing this month before Christmas. So with all that writing, that's going to be a lot of work, and I'm glad to do it. I'm glad to do that because I love these guys. I want to write these stories for them, and I've got some great ideas for stories that I'm going to write. But the downer is, because I'm going to be spending most of my time writing, that means videos are going to probably come out slower. So that's the big announcement that I wanted to make here with this December update video. Expect slower videos this month. I'm going to be spending a lot more time writing than I am making videos. That doesn't mean no videos will come out. It just means they may be a little bit slower. So expect slow uploads or more lengthy times between uploads. It's just going to be one of those months, guys. That's just how it is. I hate it, but that is the way it's going to be. So, and also, I'm having to postpone my trip to Japan. Looking at the financial situation as it is, there's no way I'm going to be able to afford a round trip between here and Japan and the ability to live and basically be comfortable there. I need to spend this next year working hard and making that money so that in the next year I can go to Japan. It sucks. I'm very disappointed in it, but it's the right thing to do, and that's something that I had to come to grips with. So those of you who are excited to hear about my adventure in Japan next year, just it's not going to happen yet. But it will happen, just not yet. And for those of you who can't tell from my voice, I'm still a little bit sick. I'm getting over a bit of an illness that happened, so if I ever cough or clear my throat, know that that's the reason. Anyway, enough about the personal stuff. We're done with all that. Let's get to stuff about the channel. That's what y'all want to hear, right? Here we go. All right, so let's get started. The Warriors Den live stream for next season of For Honor is coming out this month. I believe it's coming out next Thursday. And so I will be doing a live stream for that. I will be live streaming to watch the Warriors Den. Those of you who enjoy those, please come join in. It's one of my most popular live stream days. I'd be happy to look over it, and you can guarantee I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer about it. I'm not going to say stuff like, man, if this Warriors Den stream isn't good, I'm yeeting myself out, or I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pull that crap. I'm very excited to what they have to say. I'm excited to see any new hints they have about the next hero. People have been asking, who do you think it's going to be? What do you think it's going to be? I don't know. I don't have any clues as of yet. I have a few ideas. My big idea right now is I think it's going to be an Aztec hero. And the only reason I think that is because they've kind of been going down a checklist of what people have requested for Honor heroes. Because I remember back in the day, even back as far as when Centurion was added, people were saying we want an Egyptian or an African hero. We want a pirate hero, and we want an Aztec hero, and so I'm thinking it's probably going to be Aztec of some variety. So that's my thought. I don't know for certain, but that'd be kind of cool if they did that. So looking forward to seeing what that is. As for the rest of the For Honor stuff, I want to clarify a few things. So first of all, the Legend series. I want to apologize, first of all, that hasn't come out as frequently. I've been working on it, and I want to do some more with it, but I've been looking over the analytics for the recent Legend series, and they're not as popular as I'd like. I'd like to see some more people become interested in those. I'd like your thoughts in the comment section and in the chat. Do you enjoy the Legend series? Do you like me making these stories about my characters and sharing them with you? If you do, let me know why. I'd like to know that this series is something worth working on, because some people argue that I've heard a few people argue that it's kind of a waste of time. There's not a lot to it. But if you guys would like me to continue the series and you enjoyed the series, let me know why in the chat and in the comments. That would mean a lot to me. Now, as for the execution graded series, those have been very popular, and I'm very excited to keep doing those. But there are a few things I want to clarify. Now, this isn't me calling anyone out, but whenever I do these videos, I always get a fair degree of hate. And I know not everyone's going to agree with me on everything that I put there, but sometimes I get the same comments over and over and over again. So there are three arguments that people make that I want to address here. The first one is when people say, why aren't you considering the opponent's armor? The reason I don't consider opponents' cosmetics, or heck, my own cosmetics, is it shouldn't matter, because the execution is going to remain the same whether I use it on a lawbringer or whether I use it on a shaman. And so if I drive my axe into the head of a lawbringer and I drive into the head of the shaman, I need to keep the scores consistent. I can't just say, oh, well, because it's a lawbringer, obviously I need to drop the realism down because the lawbringer's wearing a helmet. I can't do that. I need to keep it consistent across all factors. So that's why I do that. I do not take cosmetics into account. The second one I get quite often is, these are superhuman warriors. We shouldn't be considering realism. Of course they're superhuman. They have super strength. They can do all this stuff. Understood. It's a video game. But I look at realism. Could a real human do these things? Could a normal human pull this off? That's why lethality and realism are two different categories. If someone does an unrealistic decapitation, I still count it as a 4 out of 4 for lethality because it will definitely kill. But I still have to say, is this something a human could possibly do? No. That's why I make that score unique. And then the third one that I get all the time is the argument that efficiency should not be a factor. Because what about in a duel scenario? Why would I consider battlefield efficiency if it's a duel? The problem with that is this. When I look at these warriors, I think about the background of For Honor. The background of For Honor is it's not just a dueling game. It is a war scenario where 3 or 4 factions, if you want to count the Wulin, are vying for dominance of a land. That means it's a massive all-out war. And so when these executions are done, will it work in war? So that's why I consider efficiency. So if you don't like that, that's fine. But I invite you to do your own graded series and take out efficiency. That's fine. I'm cool with that. But I'm going to keep my score the way they are. I hope you guys don't mind that. I'm sorry if that upsets anyone. It's just what I'd like to do and continue doing with this series, okay? Alright, so with that out of the way, let's talk about For Honor and Glory. I want to first of all apologize. I wanted to get out 2 or 3 chapters of that last month and didn't really get around to it. I only got out 1, but don't worry, I intend to do the next one very soon. I already know what I'm going to do with the next 2 chapters, so it should be done pretty soon. I hope to get that out sometime this month, so be patient with me. I will try to get it out as soon as I can. I got a lot of writing to do, guys. There's a lot of writing going on. And then the last thing that I got cooking for Honor right now is a what if video. What if Apollyon came back? What if Apollyon returned right now in the middle of this situation with the faction war with the Wulin and all that? What would she say? What would she do? How would she handle it? That kind of thing. I'd like to talk about that because I do speculate about how Apollyon would feel about the way things have gone, and we'll do a brief what if video about that. That's all I got to say about For Honor right now, guys. I hope you guys are excited for what else is coming with For Honor. Let's move on to the next topic. Next up, let's talk about Dead by Daylight. I am going to do the night analysis video. People have been asking me to talk about that for a while. They've got a night hero in Dead by Daylight. Looks like they might have had some inspiration from the Warmongers. What do you think about that? Do you think that they're realistic? Blah, blah, blah. I will take a look at that. I will do that next, in fact. That is my next Dead by Daylight project, to talk about the night and talk about what works and doesn't work about them. As a matter of fact, after I do the night, I may talk about the survivor that came with them too, because I got a lot to say about him as well from a historical perspective. We'll get to that, don't worry. And also, I want to make another shout out about my mother killer idea. I have been told that some folks from Dead by Daylight community and from the Dead by Daylight dev team see some of my videos from time to time. If you do watch my videos, again, go see my mother killer video. I'll leave a link in the description or in the upper right-hand corner. Go check that out. I think that'd be a cool killer to add. Hint, hint. Like, I'd like to see that in Dead by Daylight. Just give me the residuals. We'll talk. Like, give me a call. You know, I'm on Discord. I'm just having fun with that. But seriously, it was a great idea that I had, and I've had a lot of people talk to me about how that could work and whether or not they like it. If you haven't seen my mother killer concept idea, go check it out. I'm very proud of it. All right, now, Rainbow Six Siege is the next topic. Rainbow Six Siege. I recently did a video on Rainbow Six Win about the new operator Solus, who I think they wrote very well. I actually liked a lot of that. But stay tuned, because next week I'll be doing another Rainbow Six Cringe called Rainbow Six Cringe Night Haven Nut Jobs. It'll be a live stream, and I'll be talking about some very silly things we have now learned about Night Haven and about some of the reasons why the Rainbow Six team has been betraying Rainbow to go over to Night Haven. Believe me, when you hear some of these reasons, you will laugh until you need to breathe. Like, it's just thinking about some of them, it's pretty bad. Rainbow's lore, I think we can all agree, is pretty crappy. But the thing is, it doesn't have to be. With these Raven 6 Cringe videos, my goal is to try to show how it could be done better, how they could fix some of these problems, how they could expand on their heroes and their operators and their operational tactics, and actually make this not only somewhat believable, but somewhat engaging, you know? I just feel like there are times where they don't go as well as they could. And I'd also like to make a video where I talk about some of my favorite operators, including Dokkaebi, who's one of my favorites. Maybe, you know, would anyone be interested in hearing that? Would y'all like to hear me talk about why I love characters like Dokkaebi and Hibana and Thatcher and Mute and all these others? Would you like to hear about why I like these heroes? Let me know in the comment section or in the chat. I'd love to talk about that. All right, so now let's talk about writing in the writing room. The next writing room I'm planning is steps to getting started, how to create a story. Because I think something that a lot of people ask me is, how do I get started? What are the steps to getting started? And I'll tell you my steps. Everyone has their own way of doing it, I feel like, but I'll tell you my steps and tell you what I do to get started. But there are some questions about writing that I simply can't answer, and I'll tell you one of the big ones. I can't answer the question that starts with, what do you think of blank? Everyone asks me that. Hey, Raven, what do you think of blank? Or, hey, Raven, I've been writing this. What do you think of blank? Or, hey, Raven, I had an idea. What do you think of blank? Asking me what do I think of something is not a good idea. And I'll tell you why. It's not that I don't have an opinion. It's that you shouldn't use my opinion alone to decide whether or not you should write something. See, that's the thing. It has to be something you would like to see. That's the first step to writing, I feel like. When you come up with an idea, don't ask yourself, what would other people think? Ask yourself, would you want to read this? That's the first thing you need to ask. Ask yourself, do other people want to read it? No, do I want to read it? I take from the master Clint Eastwood when he was directing movies. People would ask him, hey, well, how do you come up with these ideas? He says, I come up with an idea, and I ask myself, would I want to see it? Yeah, I'd like to see it. And then he makes the movie. Now, not everything Clint Eastwood makes is great, per se, but that's the right way to start. Start by asking, is this something I'd like to see? Yes. Now work from there and see how you can expand the idea. So asking me, what do you think of? I'll tell you, okay, sounds okay, but what do you think of it? What do you like about it? Now, if you want to say, hey, Raven, do you think that this sounds too much like a Mary Sue? Do you think that this is a good direction to take the plot? Do you think, if you ask me that, I might be able to help give some ideas. But if you're just asking me, what do you think of blank idea? I'm going to tell you, if you like it, go for it. I always want to say this. Be confident in your work. If you are confident in your work, that's always the right step. It doesn't mean the product will always be great, but if you believe in it, then odds are someone else will believe in it too. Now, we're going to talk about this more when we get to the question of the day. But know this, I intend to do a video sometime in the future about why Disney, Marvel, Lucasfilm, and Hollywood is dead. And it's not anime that killed it. I've seen a couple articles that say that anime killed it. No, it didn't. The wokeness killed it. And I intend to do a video sometime, I don't know when, sometime talking about why this woke aspect killed modern movies and writing. It's pretty bad, and we'll get to that. But anyway, moving on from writing, response videos. I'm always in search of more content for that. How did you guys like my most recent extra credits response? It's been a while since I dealt with extra credits. I'm wondering if their next one will be worth responding to as well. Always keep that stuff coming. If you're on my Discord, always send me your video topic ideas. Send me some stuff that you think I could respond to, and I'll look it over and see if it's worth responding to. So I love doing response videos. I know y'all love seeing them. So if y'all keep sending me ideas, I'll keep making response videos. Now here's one that people have been asking me about for a while. The Journey to the West reading. I did promise that at some point I would do a full reading of Journey to the West. I'll do a video where I read a chapter and talk about what it says. I intend to do that starting next year. I'll start that sometime in January. I'll probably start with the first chapter or 2 chapters in January and go from there. Look forward to that coming next month, okay? Okay. Now, there is something that I want to clear the air about before we start to wrap things up. In a lot of my streams, particularly my For Honor Friday streams, I end the stream quite often by talking about my faith, about my Christian ideals and principles, and I talk about my thoughts on certain heretical or non-Christian ideas that float around out there and how I feel about them. And I think that I scare some people when I do that because they're worried that I'm trying to force my beliefs on my followers. That is not true at all. I can't force anything on you, and I don't want to force anything on you. That's the last thing I want to do. I would love it if you came around to Christ or asked me about Christ or how you could get saved through Christ. I'd love to talk to you about that. I'm always happy to answer questions where I can and provide information about what I believe and what I practice. But it is not my goal or my intention to ever force anything on you. I don't want to force you to believe what I believe, because if I forced it, then it wouldn't be natural. It wouldn't be real. But if you have questions, if you want to just talk about it, I'd be happy to talk about it. And if you want to just ignore it, you're free to ignore it, and I will not judge you one way or another. So please understand that when I talk about my faith in streams or in videos, I'm not in any way trying to convert you or force you. Just presenting my faith, and y'all can do with it what you like. Alright, so let's begin to wrap things up. I've been playing some new games lately. Persona 5 Royal, Genshin Impact, Far Cry 5. I've been touching some other games lately, kind of on my side time when I have free time. I've been touching some other games, and I've been enjoying them, so it's not like I'm only doing For Honor, Rainbow, and Dead by Daylight. In fact, if I'm being honest, I very rarely touch Rainbow, unless a new hero comes out, or unless it's a new season I need to talk about. So most of the time I'm not talking about those. But I'm also looking forward to some new games coming out next year. Hogwarts Legacy is apparently coming out. Oh, trust me, I have some things to talk about in terms of Harry Potter and Hogwarts with that game. Rise of the Ronin should be coming out. That will be a lot of fun. That will be amazing, it looks like. And then I've heard a lot about this other game, Blight Survival, which is like a zombie apocalypse in a medieval setting. That sounds awesome. I really want to play that. I hope that comes out next year. And next Halloween, I might do a video talking about what would happen if a zombie apocalypse happened in medieval times. Believe it or not, I disagree with the zombie survival guide, where it talked about what happened when that took place, because Max Brooks was kind of stupid in that one. He kind of made a lot of bad calls there. So we'll be talking about that. So yeah, I got some other stuff going on. Things aren't bad. I didn't want the beginning of my video to come off as kind of downer. Like, there's a lot of good stuff going on. So that's the stuff you can look forward to. Before we close out though, do the jingle.
I've seen unspeakable horrors, and I know pain. It's time for the question of the day.
That's right, guys. It's the time for the question of the day. And today's question is, why does anime continue to succeed while Disney circles the drain? And that's a very good question. And like I said, I will be answering that question in a different video where I talk about how wokeness has been killing Disney and every other Hollywood entity lately. But I can give you a brief answer here as to at least why anime is succeeding. There's a much longer answer, but the short answer is this. The priorities are different between most anime and Disney. The priorities of Disney and Hollywood and all these other major media corporations is not one of creating art or creating new ideas or creating beautiful worlds or creating unique storylines and characters. It is about satisfying a need to be moral. Now, what do I mean by that? I have found that quite often when the Hollywood industry or Disney tries to make a recent movie with woke ideas in it, what they're doing is they're not really doing it because they care about the people they're representing, be they people of the LGBTQ community, be they black people, be they women, what have you. They're doing it because they want to virtue signal. They want to look and appear to be morally good. Look, we are representing these people. Aren't we so good? Aren't we so moral? Look at how righteous we are. We stand up for these people. See how virtuous and good we are. Word to the wise to everyone watching. If you have to tell everyone around you that you're virtuous and good and righteous, it's not going to make people think you're good and virtuous and righteous. They're going to ask why you have to keep telling them. Show with your actions, not your words, in other words. But what they're doing is they're inserting all this in an attempt to say, look at how virtuous we are and good we are and moral we are. We're inserting these long oppressed groups into our piece. We are subverting your expectations for the sake of diversity. That's what they always say. So that way, even if their movie or whatever flops and does bad, they can hide behind, well, you're all bad. See, we proved we were moral by going with the diverse option. We proved we were moral and righteous by going with the new, unique, and subversive. You're just the bigots for not accepting it. See, we're the upstanding, moralistic individuals. That's why these businesses that should care about making money only care about looking moral. Because if they can appear moral, they can appear like they're on the right side of history. So that way, even though we may be losing money, we are the morally upstanding. They want to be the underdog so bad, they'll literally throw money in the fire to claim, see, we're poor. Whereas with anime, the goal, for the most part, I'm not going to say all anime is perfect at this, has always been to be creative, to make money, to push new ideas, to create a new world or concept, or to appeal to the audience. Isekai anime, even though I feel that it is very much overdone, is made for the explicit purpose of creating an experience for the viewer. It is a way for a young man who enters this isekai world to have an experience where they feel like they are invested and feel like they're having a wish fulfillment experience. It's not about, oh, look at how diverse and inclusive. It is about, here's an experience for you to get wrapped up in. I think that the anime, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, is one of the most uninspired, boring, Mary Sue-based stories I've ever seen in my life. And yet I can see how it appeals to people. I can see why it would have an audience. It's getting a movie, guys. It appeals to some people, and I understand why. It doesn't have to remind its audience over and over, look, we're virtuous. Look, we're moral. Look, we stand up for the underdogs. No, it just creates a story. For better or worse, it creates an experience that the audience can appreciate and enjoy. It is a new phenomena. I believe that Literature Devil once put it best. There is an anime about fishing. And that anime is far more entertaining than most of what Hollywood can put out because it creates investing characters, a unique animation style, and a unique way of approaching the subject matter. Whereas Hollywood cannot even tell a story about going into outer space and seeing new worlds without inserting, look, modern political context, modern socio-political issues, look, investment in diversity. Do you see the problem? We get tired of seeing this over and over again. We get sick of seeing it. The more Disney and all these others claim that they're representing the underdog and being virtuous, the more we say, we're kind of sick of this now. We'd like you to go back to making meaningful content again. And their response to that is, you're bigots. You just don't appreciate things. You're part of the right-leaning, conservative, blah, 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 whatever they have to say. So if you want to know the real reason why anime is succeeding where Disney is continuing to circle the drain, I think there's your answer. And feel free to agree or disagree in the comments or in the chat, wherever you are. Would always be happy to hear your thoughts. So that about wraps it up today, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming to watch this video. And again, I'll restate, supporting this channel would mean the world to me. It allows me to do what I love and to share with you guys my thoughts and my perspective on things. All the ways to help become a patron, go to the Teespring store to purchase merch, or just supporting by subscribing and just watching the ads in my videos. Do any of those or all of those or none of those. It's all fine to me. I'm just so glad to have such a wonderful audience that's willing to support me. Again, I want to shout out Hannah and Jay, who are both really great fans and really great artists. Go check out their Instagram pages. They will be in the description. That about wraps it up, guys. Have a wonderful December, a Merry Christmas. I'm sure you'll hear more from me before that happens. But either way, that's going to wrap it up. This is the last update of 2022, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.
And again, it's still based on fabrication. Next paragraph.
Ooh, that's some salt right there.